everybody, welcome on back. I am Buzz the Noob, and thanks for coming back to check out the channel again. Today, we are going to be talking about Paladin class changes, and most specifically, we're going to be talking about talents. Now, this is going to be the first in a 6-part series that I'm going to do. I'm going to go over all the talents, what I think about them, what I think about the changed talents, and kind of where I think we're going to end up with like basic builds and stuff, kind of going to go over that a little bit. We're not going to deep dive that because obviously nothing's been factored in or anything. We haven't done any theory crafting. The numbers haven't been crunched, and obviously we're still very early alpha. We're still in the first build, and so we don't have the tuning passes and everything that we're going to get later down the road that'll make that more coherent. But Blizzard did say, and Ian did say in his Sloot interview, that we've got the bulk of the changes done, right? So I want to look at that, and I want to see what we've got going. So I've got, as you can see up on the screen, I got the Wowhead talent calculators. The one on the left is the BFA talent calculator. One on the right is the live talent calculator. So we're just going to talk about both those things and just look at it. So first thing we're going to talk about is on our first row, and we're going to talk about changes. So we got Holy Shield, Redoubt, Blessed Hammer, still the same things we had before, right? But there are some changes. So in Redoubt, our Shield of Righteous is now going to increase our strength and stamina by 2% and for 6 seconds, and that'll stack up to 3 times. It was on Redoubt, Avenger's Shield bounces to an additional target and increases your block by 75% for 8 seconds, okay? So that's going to be a change. I'm not sure that's going to matter or anything. Blessed Hammer has a bigger change on row 1. So Blessed Hammer in Shadowlands, we're going to throw a hammer that spirals outward, dealing % of attack power, holy damage to enemies, and reducing the next damage they deal to you by percentage, right? This is also going to generate a holy power. Blessed Hammer currently, so there's 2 changes to Blessed Hammer. Blessed Hammer currently, you throw a hammer that spirals outward, dealing 10% of attack power, holy damage to enemies, and weakening them, reducing the damage you take from their next auto attack by 12%. Okay? So currently, right now, Holy Shield or Blessed Hammer are the ways we go. I don't see that changing. I really don't. Honestly, with this row, I don't see Redoubt. I still just don't see it being strong enough between Blessed Hammer and Holy Shield. But honestly, I think Blessed Hammer got a huge buff because it's not just auto attacks anymore. It's all damage, reducing the next damage they deal to you. Okay, so that's huge in and of itself. Plus, Blessed Hammer doesn't actually require a target, right? And it generates 1 holy power. And that is working on the PTR as of right now, the Alpha Realms. I'm sorry, not the PTR. But it is working on the Alpha Realms as of right now, that it is actually generating a holy power every time it works. So if that continues live, which I actually kind of think it does, that's going to mean we can build up our 3 stacks of holy power, use our Shield of the Righteous before we pull the boss. So we're going to be able to have our active mitigation up before we pull the boss. So our next abilities are First Avenger, Crusader's Judgment, and Moment of Glory, which replace Bastion of Light. So First Avenger's change, it now hits 2 additional targets and grants an absorb for 100% of the damage it deals. Okay, it was that it just dealt 50% increased damage to the first target and gives Grand Crusader 10% more proc chance. So I like that. I like the fact that, while not baseline or shield being a defensive, First Avenger is a good choice, but it still has to compete with Crusader's Judgment. Okay? Crusader's Judgment, there's no change. It still gives you a second judgment. So, and Moment of Glory, which replaces Bastion of Light, which was Bastion of Light gave you 3 extra shields of the righteous, right? Moment of Glory. During Ardent Defender, every melee attack against you triggers Grand Crusader. Okay? So really, this is going to be a really strong row. I really don't know what's going to end up simming better. This is really going to be, the theory crafters need to do the math, and, you know, 2 judgments, that's awesome. And you get defensive with your first Avenger shield, that's going to be friggin' awesome. Moment of glory, every melee attack against you triggers Grand Crusader. That's going to be a lot. Holy crap, that's going to be insane, because judgments and shields both provide holy power. So if every time you're getting hit, you're getting Grand Crusader, man, the melee packs and Mythic Plus, this is going to be friggin' stupid. So, honestly, I think Crusader's Judgment's going down on this one, because Crusader's Judgment's kind of been the default for BFA. So I think we actually have some choice here. So that's going to be fun. Just going to be tons of fun. Row 3, there's only one change here. It's Fists of Justice, and really, it's not a change, except for the fact we now have Holy Power as opposed to Shield of the Righteous. So now Fist of Justice reduces the cooldown of our Hammer of Justice by 2 seconds for each Holy Power spent. It was 6 seconds per judgment. I think that's going to equal out about the same time. So honestly, your Hammer of Justice is going to be on like a 30-second cooldown. So that's your stun. I don't know. We'll see. Everything else is exactly the same, though. So this is still going to be an open row, kind of depending on what you need. Hey, do I need more stuns? Fist of Justice. Do I want to CC stuff myself because I'm pugging and I don't quite trust anybody else? Bring Repentance. I know there's a buttload of caster mobs, and I'm not going to be able to have enough shields to interrupt everything, and at some point I need an additional interrupt. Bring Blinding Light. So that's kind of what's going on here. Unbreakable Spirit was moved to the 4th row as opposed to the 5th row. No real change to that. It also replaced Retribution Aura for kind of obvious reasons, since that is now no longer a talent. It's now a spell in our spellbook. So even though it's actually somehow worse than it was as a talent, I don't know. I really don't know what Blizzard's problem with Retribution Aura is. But it's not no longer a talent, so that's all I'm going to talk about on that, okay? So, besides the fact Unbreakable Spirit went up, it still does the same thing. It reduces the cooldown of Divine Shield, Ardent Defender, and Lay on Hands by 30%. All around good choice. It is going to be interesting in the row it's in now, because that puts us in Cavalier. So, that's our mobility talent and Blessing of Spell Warding. So, it really gives you more choice in this one. Again, overall, I think this talent row is going to be kind of difficult to choose from. If you're, I think Out in the World, Cavalier probably is going to be your best one. Unbreakable Spirit for, progression, where you can go and need Divine Shield, Divine, and Lay on Hands more often, Ardent Defender more often. I think that's going to be good. And Blessing of Spell Warding is going to retain that niche. Hey, there's a lot of magic in this dungeon, this raid, or this boss fight in particular has real heavy magic. I'm going to need Blessing of Spell Warding. I don't need my bop, so I bring my boss instead. That's not a thing, is it? Let's make that a thing. Boss. Blessing of Spell Warding. So we're going to make that a thing. Help me out with that. Lottie-dottie, everybody. Let's make that a thing. So that's our choices there. That's where I kind of see them. So I think go-to is probably going to end up being Unbreakable Spirit. Blessing of Spell Warding is going to be fight dependent. And Cavalier, man, if you just out-level everything and you just want to get done faster, Cavalier is always going to be a good choice. Get 2 ponies instead of 1. Level 40 talents are row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got some changes here. Divine Purpose, which replaced Unbreakable Spirit in this row. That's what they put back in this spot. Let me scroll that one up so it looked like the same height on our screen over there. So Divine Purpose, your Holy Power abilities have a 15% chance to make your next Holy Power ability free and deal 20% increased damage and healing. That sounds like it could be really good. 15% chance of a free Word of Glory or a free Shield of the Righteous. That's not bad. And they both deal Word of Glory healing you for 20% more, or Shield of the Righteous, dealing 20% more damage. That's all around good. I don't see a problem there. But you also have Holy Avenger on this row, which replaces where it took the place of where Final Stand was. Now that Final Stand's gone, it's just moved. And Seraphim replaced Hand of the Protector. Okay, so Seraphim just moved up. I'm not going to go into the detail on this one because it literally just moved up from where it was. So Seraphim's now here. Holy Avenger, that is going to be good for us. Your holy power generation is tripled for 20 seconds. So that means, if I'm reading that right, that means when we do a judgment, we get 3 holy power as opposed to 1. When we do a shield, we get 3 holy power as opposed to 1. When we do the Kyrian shield, we get 15 holy power, but, you know, well, we get 5 times 3. Yeah, 15. Ooh, math. Math is fun, kids. But your Holy Avenger would give you 15 holy power if you could hold that much, but you can't. So it'll obviously still be its 5 when you do the Kyrian ability. Man, so this again, I don't know where we're going to go. Having Seraphim in this talent row is good in some ways because I like the fact that it makes it, and with Holy Power, I think Seraphim's going to be a lot more playable than it has been using up all our Shield of the Righteous charges. But Seraphim, if you want to build a defensive tank, you can still do it and have Seraphim is what I'm saying there. But Seraphim, man, that's going to be good. Holy Avenger, whew. I mean, you're going to have so much holy power, it's not even going to be funny. So if you did Holy Avenger with Redoubt and Crusader's Judgment, man, you could be going crazy. Or, ooh, you know what could be really fun? You do Holy Avenger with Moment of Glory, getting more Grand Crusaders, and Redoubt with the stacking. Of course, you can only stack it up to three times that shield, that strength buff. So that's a possible interplay in the talents right there. I kind of like that. But man, that's you're going to be providing so much holy power. That's not. I'm not sure if we can keep it tripled. I don't know if that's going to make it. I think Divine Purpose is going to stay exactly where it's at. That seems about right. So this will be extremely passive. Nothing really you can do. That's going to give you another button. That's going to give you another button. I mean, both of these are going to be huge DPS increases. It's going to really come down to which one's actually a better DPS increase. Again, Theory Crafters have got to get on it and start telling us, you know, start seeing how they're going to play out. And I got to get into my blogs and on the Discord and start checking that stuff too. But this is just my opinion as well. I'm seeing it. But yeah, I think these two are going to be our go-to, Holy Avenger and Seraphim. I think Divine Purpose is good. I think it's a little rudimentary. And I think Holy Avenger and Seraphim can give us more of what we need when we need it. And obviously as tanks, that's the most important thing, right? Also, Holy Avenger, if you took First Avenger and you have Holy Avenger, yeah, that's really not going to do much interplay, is it? Holy Avenger is tripled. Yeah, that's not going to have any interplay. But Fist of Justice would have interplay. So, hey, Holy Avenger's got a lot of interplay with a lot of other things. So that's going to be interesting talent. You're going to be able to do all kinds of different stuff with that. The 6th row, this is where Hand of the Protector moved to. Consecrated Ground, exactly the same as it has been. And Judgment of Light just flipped position on this row from the 1st to the 3rd spot. So it's no change there at all except for... Actually, there's no change there at all. 5% of spell power, 5% spell power, yeah, 25 attacks, yeah, so whatever. It's literally no change to Judgment of Light, no change to Consecrated Ground, and Hand of the Protector, no change. I mean, really, except for its Word of Glory, it's just a tooltip at that point. Honestly, I think this row's kind of boring. Let's be real honest here. Hand of the Protector is a weak talent because it just is. You're going to heal, Word of the Glory is going to heal 200% or something of the target's missing health. This will make it like 300%, which it is on you, something like that. Don't have the exact numbers in front of me, whatever. But it's just going to be a weak talent. I'm sorry, because Word of the Glory, Word of Glory can be used on another target already. It's not like when it was Hand of the Protector with Light of the Protector, and that made you targetable on somebody else. So that just is not as good as it may have been as it is live. Okay, Consecrated Ground. Yeah, it's good that my Consecration's 15% larger and gives me a little snare. It's only 50%. It's nowhere near the Death Knight snare. Come on, man. Give me 75% snare. Would that be so bad? Come on. I know you don't love me. It's good. Blizzard just doesn't have any love for the Paladins. And Judgment of Light. I mean, most of the time, I'm going to pick between these two. Raid setting, I'm probably going to take Judgment of Light. Just to help out the healer some. And Mythic Plus, I'm going to take Consecrated Ground because the snare is something. It at least gives us some ability to kite, so you use Consecrated Ground with Cavalier. Then you've got that ability to drop your Consecration, run away from them, drop another Consecration, run even further away from them because you'll be able to do that. Because you'll be out of that Consecration by the time you're doing that. So, whatever. We'll see. This is just a boring row. Row 45 is just boring. The rest of these rows are like super awesome, and these are all just kind of like, meh, okay. Our level 50 talents. So the last ones we'll be picking up. You got Sanctified Wrath, which is coming back, or is a new talent. That's a new talent. Righteous Protector, still in the same spot, and Final Stand, which moved. Where'd that move from? Yeah, that moved from the. What was the 75 row down to the 50 row. So Sanctified Wrath, going to make our Avenging Wrath wings last 25% longer and cause Judgment to generate 1 additional holy power. Okay, so you take Sanctified Wrath with Holy Avenger. Okay, and you've got Crusader's Judgment. So I'm curious if that'll work together. So I've popped my Holy Avenger. It's on it at the boss, right? So I use my Judgment. And I pop my wings, pop Holy Avenger, and hit him for that. So does that make this now that's triple, so that's 3. So does that make it 4? Would that give me 4 right there? That, man, you'd be able to pump up some serious stuff. Really makes me wish Seraphim was in like the 45 row or somewhere else so we could have Holy Avenger and Seraphim. Oh, that would be sweetness. But that's probably not going to happen. They probably did that on purpose. But that's going to be interesting. That's going to be some interesting interplay there. So that's going to be fun. Righteous Protector. So really no change from Righteous Protector except for Shield of the Righteous reduces. So instead of Shield of the Righteous, it's now... didn't mean to do that. It's now our holy power, right? So that's going to be a change. It's really not... I think the math is going to end up being the same. So for each holy power spent, we reduce it by 1 second. For each Shield of the Righteous, we reduce it by 3 seconds. And if you have Holy Adventure in this, and yeah, I think you're going to be able to do some crazy amounts of holy power generation. I think this may actually be a little bit of a buff as far as how fast that's coming off cooldown, but it's not going to be like huge. It's still going to be fun. Final Stand is still, going to be great. Bubble Taunt, I love it. I'm glad it didn't go away. I'm glad we still have it. So really, my way that I'm thinking that I'm going to go into Shadowlands right now is I'm probably going to go with Blessed Hammer. I'm probably running out in the world. I'm probably going to go I'll probably go Moment of Glory to start with, and then maybe Crusader's Judgment. I'm not going to need the shield bubble when we're leveling, right? So this is like leveling. I'll probably just go with Fist of Justice. I'll go Cavalier because, again, leveling. I'll go Seraphim because, I want that extra damage on a pretty consistent cooldown. I'll go... friggin' doesn't matter here which one you go. I'll probably go Judgment of the Light just so I'm passively healing myself. And then here, I'll probably go Sanctified Wrath just for the longer duration. But that's what we're looking at for our talents. That's going to be the updates of that. Guys, please like, subscribe, share the video. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. I'm still kind of new to this, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. And if you have any questions, leave those down below. Leave me suggestions for the next tank you want me to make, and because I'm going to do, like I said, this will be a 6-part series, and we're going to do this on all of our tanks. And you guys stay safe out there, and have a good night. Bye.